What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. Hopefully, guys are doing well today. Now, today I'm going to do two videos. This video, of course, is going to be reacting to my Premier predictions or what I did on Thursday, last Thursday, and also later after that, there's going to be a match preview for Chelsea versus Real Madrid because that game kicks off tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. UK time or 9 p.m. at in Madrid because they're 1 hour ahead of us since it's in Europe. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And there's going to be lots of talks like, can Chelsea make a comeback? Can Thomas Tuchel get the lineup right? Can these players perform like they did against Southampton? All that will be talked on in the next video. So yeah, so make sure you tune into that video is because that is going to be important video for me to talk about and for the players and the manager to talk about as well. So that's going to be in the next video. But for this video, it's going to be reacting to the Premier League predictions that started on Friday night and ended on Sunday afternoon, with the game of the weekend. So there's been surprises. There's been like, oh my God, I got this right, and there's been like a huge shock, like surprises, and also I knew that team was going to win. So there's going to be lots of that in this video. So before I get into my predictions, I want to say, if you are new, hit the subscribe button below, give this video a thumbs up, and click the like button if you enjoyed this. Share this to everybody that you know so that they can react to their predictions to see if they got it right. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you'll be alerted if I posted any new videos over my YouTube channel. So make sure you tune into that. So make sure you do that. So without further ado, let's move on into my Premier League predictions of what I predicted on Matchday 32 or Game Week 29. So without further ado, here we go. So first of all, let's start off with the Friday night game between Newcastle United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. And now I went for a 2-1 Newcastle win, but the actual game was actually 1-0. So I managed to get 1 point. And the reason why I went for 2-1 is because I didn't think that Newcastle would keep a clean sheet. They wouldn't, because Wolves are just really good going forward. They will just do really well. But I watched that game and Wolves were absolutely terrible. Maybe the first half, especially the second half, they were good, but they just couldn't handle Newcastle. They really couldn't. The first half, Newcastle were just all over them. Like whenever Wolves just couldn't go forward and make some and didn't pass it straight into the Newcastle player, sorry, the Wolves players, Newcastle just watch the ball, and the midfields were just like intercepting us, like, what, we're gonna these guys are not doing good, so let's try and get the ball. And that's what Newcastle did. They were just all over Wolves. Like, Wolves were just absolutely dreadful in the first half. In the second half, they were better, but Newcastle just continued to keep that momentum, because I told you guys that this is going to be a really tough game for Wolves at St James's Park, because there'll be lots of fans, because of the new owner for Newcastle. Even though they've lost 3 or 4 times in a row, they managed to beat Wolves at New St James's Park. So I knew this was going to be a tough game for Wolves, and it proved to me that I was right. Newcastle got the penalty, after Chris Wood fouled by Ryan's that Wolves goalkeeper. I forgot his name, but he fouled him, and then Chris Wood out of nowhere scores his first goal for Newcastle at St James's Park. Of course, that's his second Premier League goal, because I can't remember the last time he scored for Newcastle. I really can't. But he scored his first goal at St James's Park. So big up to Chris Wood. Hopefully that will boost his confidence. He may not score so many goals like he did for Burnley, but at least the fans cheered for him when he scored that penalty. So big up to Newcastle. Whereas for Wolves, they were really poor. Newcastle deserve to win. For me, they're staying up. Even though they're 9 points clear, they're staying up. Like, I don't see them going down. I really didn't. Eddie Howe is an experienced manager, because he was the manager for Bournemouth, and he's doing wonders for Newcastle. So for me, they're staying up, Newcastle. I can see them. Hopefully next season won't be the same thing, but this season they're staying up. So huge congratulations to Newcastle. Now, moving on into Everton versus Manchester United. Now, for this game, I went for 2-1, but for Everton, not for Manchester United, because I said on the Thursday night show that this has got to be a must win for Everton because the way they lost to Burnley, they were just like 1 point ahead of them and they were in serious trouble. And like I told you guys, if Burnley would have beaten Norwich City, which they didn't do yesterday, then Everton would be in big trouble. Even though they've won against Manchester United, they'll still be in big trouble. But today, I want to say congratulations to the Chelsea legend Super Frankie Lampard, who has finally beaten Manchester United in the Premier League. He couldn't do that at Chelsea, but he done that for Everton. And I have to tell you guys, Everton deserved it. Even though they haven't played that well, they really did deserve it. Lampard got the tactics absolutely spot on because Jordan Pickford makes some saves, the same as David De Gea, but he just I bet Lampard knew what Riley's going to stick to that 4-2-3-1 formation, and he still did. So he's like, let me use a 4-3-3. Let me just nullify Manchester United, and that's exactly what happened. You know, that's the problem with the manager, Ralph Rangnick. He still uses that 4-2-3-1 formation, and it still ain't working. It still ain't working. You know, if you see that it's not working, try and switch the formation. Try and go for like a back three, which I know that is strange, but go for back three. Like do what Chelsea's done, and you'll see what happens. But he said he goes to a back four and it still ain't working. And I knew that Manchester United will not win this game because they've been terrible this season. They've been terrible. Manchester United, right now, are in sixth place. Six or seven, I don't know, but they're in sixth place, and that means the Conference League. Just imagine if Ronaldo and Varane playing in the Conference League. I don't think it will happen. Ronaldo will leave and Varane will leave because for them to be playing in the league that is just like not like the Europa League or the Champions League, it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So for me, if they are actually sat in sixth place, I believe Ronaldo will go and Varane will go because that will be the first time they're not playing the Champions League for a career. But for me, they will leave. They will leave Manchester United because Ronaldo is scoring goals, but he hasn't been that great. He hasn't been that great for Manchester United. Varane hasn't been that good. Bruno Fernandes hasn't been that great as well. Jadon Sancho, Rashford, all of these players haven't been good enough. I say that maybe Fred was good in some games, and also that player Elanga was brilliant. But some of these Manchester United players aren't playing for their manager, and they're not serious for top four. They really aren't. Like honestly, like Manchester, I knew that Manchester United would have win today. I really knew it because if they would have been in the top four, you guys see me saying, "Yes, Manchester United win." They were in the top four. Everton are in trouble, But I knew it. Manchester United have been shit this season. I fear for them. I really do. So it is what it is. So I went for 2-1. It was actually 1-0. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I never knew that Everton would keep a clean sheet, just like Newcastle, but they managed to do that. So well done to Everton and well done to Frank Lampard. I hope that Everton stay up. I really do. Because without them, what's going to happen to the Merseyside derby next season? So that's why I want them to stay up for me. I really do. So let's move on into the game that I was really surprised that got me really surprised, and I didn't expect this, and that was Arsenal versus Brighton. That ended. I went for an Arsenal win of 2-0 because I was like, Brighton have been up and down recently. Their last game they drew against Norwich, but they should have won that game. Whereas for Arsenal, yes, they've lost to Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace deserved it. But they'll beat Brighton because their squad is just good enough. But for me, I feel like Arsenal's top four host is done and dusted. The way they're playing, like they had so many chances, and they just couldn't manage to break Brighton down. Like Brighton's goals were really good, but for me, when I saw if I was an Arsenal fan, I would definitely blame this on Arteta because the way he didn't sign nobody, no striker in January, it's just unacceptable. And the way and the way he played Granit Xhaka left back, it didn't work because it happened because if we remember last season when he played Xhaka at left back against Villarreal in the Europa League, it just didn't work. It really didn't work, and also got knocked out that season, and they've lost on both legs. Maybe yes, they drew to Villarreal at the Emirates, but it was 2-1 on aggregate, so they've lost on both legs, if you know what I mean. And that's exactly the same thing for Brighton. Like honestly, like Mikel Arteta needs to get Arsenal in the top four now, because if we don't, then that's a failure. Because for me, yeah, I didn't expect Arsenal to be in the top four. I didn't. I said that this season the top four are United, Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. That is it. That is it. And the same thing goes for Tottenham. But when they signed Antonio Conte, I was like, boy, it looks like the battle for top four could be on. Like maybe it could be between Manchester United and Tottenham, but instead it's Arsenal and Tottenham that are battling up for the top four. Like it's just unforgivable. Like Arsenal at home, they're unbeaten, but Brighton in the last game they've lost to Liverpool, but they were unbeaten in the last couple of games at home. But Brighton ended at one, so yeah, it is what it is, and Brighton deserved that. I have to say, Odegaard's goal was absolutely fantastic, even though it deflected off Danny Welbeck. It's still a great shot. Got a great shot, like, and this one I wanted to see from Chelsea players, like if you know that you have so many chances, just try and take a long range shot and see what happens. Just do what you do. Like, come on, it ain't that hard. Yes, I know the long range shots ain't that easy, but just try your best. Just try, and that's what Odegaard did. He went, he showed these people that listen. We may have so many chances, but let's try and score the goal outside of the box. Like honestly, like yeah, that was a really great goal, but then Brighton defended really well and they deserve it. So for Arsenal, they're in serious trouble. And like I said before, this is exactly what happens when you celebrate over too much. Like you can celebrate if your team is like maybe 12 points ahead of Tottenham and Manchester United, but if they're 3 points behind you, do not celebrate too much because guess what? You could drop points and they could pick up wins like Tottenham did against Aston Villa, which I'll talk about in a couple of minutes. So yeah, so for Arsenal fans, just be careful. Just be careful. You know, if your expectation is to finish in the top four, they've got to hope that Tottenham drop points and you pick up wins. Because if you fail, then it will be like you guys will be in the you guys play in Europe definitely, but you're not playing the Champions League, that the elite sport. So yeah, for Arsenal fans, it looks like that for me as a Chelsea fan, the top four hopes is over because the way Tottenham played against Aston Villa, boy, like honestly, like Tottenham for me are in the top four. They're going to secure fourth place. So yeah, I'll talk about Tottenham in a few minutes. So let's move on into Southampton against Chelsea. Another one that I didn't expect because the way of Chelsea played, but boy, Chelsea in that performance was absolutely good. And if you want to see the full review, you can just click on the right. You can just click here on the top right hand corner, and you can watch my match review on that one. Because boy, Chelsea have proved me wrong. Like Werner could have had 4 goals in this game because before he scored his goal, he hit the post 2 times. Like that was so unlucky. But the one that he did from James Ward-Prowse's mistake was absolutely fantastic. Like Chelsea in this game was phenomenal, from the goalkeeper to the strike to the forwards. Like this is the kind of performance I want to see Chelsea do against teams like this, whether it's Brighton, whether it's Southampton, whether it's Watford, maybe Leeds, maybe like Newcastle. This is the kind of performance and the score I want to see Chelsea do from next season. This is the kind of performance I want to see. And if Chelsea can do that, then I know they're in the title race. But the reason why we're not in it is because we dropped points against Brighton, Everton, like teams that we're supposed to beat. And maybe Manchester United too, because they were terrible in that game. So that's what I want to see Chelsea do that against teams. Like put 4, 5, or maybe 6 past teams like that, and let's see what happens. But yeah, 6 points. But I did say Chelsea win because I was confident because if going to Southampton ain't that easy, but we made it look easy because Southampton were awful in that game. They had they had only 4 attempts, only 1 shot on target. Like that is terrible from Southampton, absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? So yeah, but for Chelsea, well done. Can we keep that momentum against Real Madrid? I hope so, but I'll talk more about that in the next video. So make sure you tune into that video. But yeah, 6-1 to 6-0 to Chelsea. I got 1 point because I predicted a Chelsea win. So yeah, I didn't expect that, but well done. But they proved me and Thomas Tuchel wrong. So yeah, well done to Chelsea. The other game is Watford against Leeds United. Now I went for a 2-0 Leeds United win, but unfortunately it's 3-0, so I've only got 1 point. But I did say that Watford will not score because Leeds United are really good. And I knew I have to go for Leeds win because Watford, they're just every time they bring in new managers, they always bottle it. They always bottle it, if you know what I mean. So that's why I knew that I went for Leeds win. I knew it. So it just is what it is. So yeah, because I knew that since Leeds United are starting to pick up good form, I feel like they've only lost 2 times under the new manager. I think it's Liverpool and perhaps Tottenham. I know they've lost to Tottenham, but I'm not sure who they also lose to. But then since after that, they've won against Norwich City, they've won against Wolves, they've won against Watford um, on Saturday, and they drew against Southampton. So I knew they'll start to pick up form under the new manager. And for me, Leeds United, after some serious trouble, I feel like they're gonna be in the Premier League next season. I don't see them going down as well because they're looking really good under this new manager. Whereas for Watford, no matter what manager they bring, they just simply cannot survive. They simply cannot, you know. So no, and I think I feel like I know that the Watford fans will be calling out their owner because he doesn't care. Like, and he proves it because it's not only the manager, it's some of these players as well. Like that, some of them need to go and some of them really need to really improve. They want Watford to stay up, but for me, they're going down. They just keep on losing, 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 losing. So for me, Watford are going down. They're in the championship back next season. For Leeds United, well done, well done. Um, they were supposed to be facing Chelsea this weekend, but because of the FA Cup semi-final, they'll face us before the end of the season. So yeah, but well done to Leeds United. 2-0, sorry, 3-0 win. I went 2-0. I got 1 point, so it is what it is. So well done to Leeds United. Let's move on into the other game where I also went for 2-0, but I went for a Tottenham win of 2-0 because I thought that yeah, going to Villa Park ain't gonna be that easy. Um, s- Even though Steven Gerrard lost 3 times, I don't think that Tottenham will score another more than 3 goals. But they do it again. They did it again against Aston Villa, and I said that Aston Villa would not score against Tottenham because they had so many chances, but Hugo Lloris made some big saves, and the defending and Tottenham defending was really good. It was really good. They had so many chances, Aston Villa, when Tottenham were 1-0 up for Son, and Son scored a hat trick. And Kulusevski, I told you guys about this guy. He was brilliant. He scored a goal, and I think he got the assist as well. He has been Tottenham signing of the season on the left hand side. And I tell you guys, him alongside Son and Harry Kane, that front three is deadly. It's deadly because without Kulusevski, like I don't know if Tottenham will manage to pick up a win or perhaps get a draw. But for me, Tottenham's front three is deadly, absolutely deadly. And Kane and Son show is all over again. Like Son scored a hat trick. Like Kane didn't score, but at least he got the assist, so he's still looking good. Like those front three is deadly for Tottenham, and they're causing a threat. So for me, since Antonio Conte is getting the best out of these play, like all of them, for me, top four is going to be for Tottenham. Like they're joining City, Liverpool, and Chelsea for the Champions League next season. I don't see any slip up. If they do, then they're absolute vulture jobs. They really are. But for me, the way I see them playing, the way I see them scoring some brilliant goals, and the way these front three are deadly, for me, top four is secured for Tottenham. Even though they're just 3 points clear of them, they still got a game in hand against Arsenal. And that North London derby will be huge, huge decider to see who will be in the top four. Because if Arsenal lose and Tottenham win, then Arsenal are not going to be in the Champions League. Whereas if Tottenham lose and Arsenal win, then boy oh boy, that is going to be a huge decider for the top four. But Tottenham have got a better goal difference than Arsenal at the moment. They really do. So yeah. So for me, it's all going to depend on the North London derby. But that's why I'm looking forward to that game. But for me, Tottenham won 4-2, so 4-0, sorry. I went for 2-0, so I got 1 point. So yeah, for Aston Villa, another defeat. Like that is four defeats in a row. Like for me, Aston Villa staying up, but they really got to pick up some points because it's not looking good under Steven Gerrard. It's really not looking good. But they started off really well, but then since maybe the defeat against Liverpool, they're starting to be going down and down, so I really feel bad for Aston Villa, but for me, they'll stay up. Hopefully next season they will improve, but for me, four defeats ain't good enough under the Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard, but it is what it is. Facing Tottenham ain't that easy, it ain't, the way they're playing, so I knew I had to go for a Tottenham win, and I did, but I only went for 2-0 instead. Now let's move on into Sunday's game. Starting off with the North London, I mean, sorry, not North London derby, and the London derby between Brentford and West Ham United. Now I went for 2-2 because I thought that, yeah, Brentford beat Chelsea. They're starting to look good. West Ham got a decent draw against Leon when they're down to 10 men. So I would have thought that, yeah, 2-2. But well done to Brentford. They beaten Arsenal, they beaten Chelsea, they beat West Ham. Who else? They didn't beat Tottenham, I believe. Who else is in the London derby? I think they might be in Crystal Palace. No, or they drawn. But anyway, when it comes to London derbies, they're really good. But Chelsea, I've got more points in the London derbies than any other team, 14, because we beat Arsenal, we beat as Tottenham twice, we beat Brentford once, we beat Crystal Palace twice. So when we pick, so Chelsea just this season are dominating London derbies, if you know what I mean. So yeah, but well done to Brentford, a 2-0 win, got a clean sheet, which I thought that would never happen, but they did. For West Ham, for me, if they're starting to keep dropping points, then their top four hopes is gone, like Arsenal. Because for me, West Ham are in sixth place, no, sorry, West Ham are in sixth place, and I feel like Manchester United are in seventh. Maybe or maybe not. I could be wrong, but yeah, West Ham They've West Ham have lost to Brentford twice, and this is the first time that Brentford ever done the double over West Ham. So they beat them in the London Stadium 2-1, and they beat them at the Brentford Community Stadium 2-0. So 1 to Brentford, a London derby win for West Ham. If they want to be in the Champions League, they've got to win the Europa League for me. So that's what they really have to do if they want to be in the Champions League. That's the only way because in going to the top four, I don't think it will happen. But winning the Europa League, potentially. But yeah, congratulations to Brentford. I went for a draw, so I got 0 points, but I didn't expect Brentford to win because the way West Ham did against Leon, but they proved me wrong. And yeah, so 2-0 to Brentford is the actual scoreline. Let's move on into Leicester City against Palace. Now, I went for 2-2 because I thought that, yeah, Crystal Palace, they beat Arsenal, they deserve to win. They were in the FA Cup semi-final. For Leicester City, after the international break, they're starting to pick up form, so that's went for a draw. But Leicester City got a 2-1 win, and that player who got the goal and assist, that was brilliant from him. What a goal, what an assist from that player. Like, for me, Leicester City deserved it because they were good in the first half, but in the second half, I thought that Crystal Palace were better. Of course, Zaha, and when I watched the Zaha penalty, he missed. But the Leicester's goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel was off his line, so that was the right decision for VAR to overturn it. And Zaha scored a penalty yet again, but Kasper Schmeichel missed. But fortunately, he scored a goal with his head, and it went for 2-1. And then, yeah, Crystal Palace had a few decent chances, and I could have gotten 3 points for that game, but unfortunately, I didn't because Leicester City won 2-1. Um, so yeah, Leicester are back to winning ways. They're starting to pick up points. They should have won against Manchester United, but they're beating Crystal Palace. So for Leicester City, it's been a strange season because I would have thought that they're the team that will battle it out for the top four, but bottle it yet again. But this season they haven't been doing that. So for Brendan Rodgers, it hasn't been that great. But next season, I know they will try harder. I know they will, if you know what I mean. So yeah, 2-1 to Leicester City, 0 points unfortunately. So yeah, let's move on into the game that I really didn't expect a result for Norwich City. Like I went for a draw because that's what happened against Burnley. Because if we remember, I went for a Burnley win of 2-0 because the way Norwich City didn't get that win that time. That's why I went for a Burnley win, but it ended 2-0 and it's still 0-0. So I thought that, I'm going to go for 0-0 again. But that didn't happen. For Norwich City, it's a huge win for them because they haven't kept a clean sheet for a long time. Well, the last time they're keeping back-to-back clean sheets because they did that against Brighton and now they've done it against Burnley. That 2-0 win. And I have to tell you, Burnley, they missed that big chance. That that chance, that sitter from that Burnley player. Oh my God, that has got to be the miss of the season. That has got to be because how on earth did you not score that? How on earth did you not score that? Like, that has got to be the move of the season. And that's Tom Waits' Burnley's game because they were good in the first half, but Norwich City scored the first goal. In the second half, same thing again, but Norwich City scored another goal. So that was some sort of Burnley's game against Norwich yesterday because for me, they were good, but Burnley got that 2-0 win, and he's a huge for them. For me, I still think Norwich will go down. I still think so. The season's not over yet, don't get me wrong, but for me, I feel like Norwich City can go down because they've got tough games to face. They've still got to face Manchester United away and Tottenham at home, I believe. Or is it away? I don't know. But yeah, it ain't going to look good for Norwich City in the last couple of games. But congratulations to them, a massive win, 2-0. And yeah, so unfortunately I got 0 points in that one because I didn't expect both Norwich and Burnley to win that game, but Norwich did, so well done to them. But the one I'm happy with is that I've got the Man City and the Liverpool prediction right, 2-2, and I ended it 2-2. And I've got to tell you, Man City this season, like I feel like they had more chances than Liverpool this game. They really do, and they had more possession. And that's why if Liverpool win the title, then it's Pep's fault. It's Pep's fault. You know why? It's because Pep over the summer transfer window should have signed a prolific striker, whether it's Erling Haaland, whether it's Lewandowski, whether it's Harry Kane, he should have signed him because that could cost them. Um they're still top of the table, but they're just 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Imagine if Liverpool were winning games from now to the end of the season. Man City drop points, maybe like the likes of I don't know who they have remaining left. Like they drop points to those teams. Like this will cost them, and this will give Liverpool some credit. Because I'd have thought that yeah, City would win the league, but I know that Chelsea will at least challenge, trying to contend this alongside Manchester United, but that didn't happen. But yeah, if Liverpool win the league, then it's going to cost them. It's really going to cost Manchester City. So that's why I think next season, Pep Guardiola needs to sign either Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, or maybe perhaps Robert Lewandowski. Because if he doesn't sign a striker yet again, Man City will potentially not win the title next season. They really not. Even though they've got the likes of De Bruyne, maybe Raheem Sterling, maybe Gabriel Jesus, it's not enough. They need someone who they need a striker who will just punish the teams and make sure that Man City will not drop points against Crystal Palace or Southampton or Tottenham and Crystal Palace again, because those are the teams that they drop points to, Manchester City. So this really cost them. But what a game this was, 2-1 at half time, then 48 seconds later into the second half, Liverpool scored Liverpool score. What an assist from Sadio Mane. I'm sorry, Mo Salah into Sadio Mane to make it 2-2. And Kevin De Bruyne's goal was really good. And I have to tell you guys, Ante Ten was absolutely terrible in this game. He was absolutely terrible because I feel like Thiago and Fabinho should have come off. Because I saw the image and I saw the replay, I was like, yeah, you know what? These two should have been off. And that would really change the game. But the reason why that is because he didn't want Liverpool you didn't want the fans and the Liverpool to have a go at Anthony Taylor, so that's why he didn't want to make those decisions. But even the Liverpool fans thought that was a red card, and they got lucky. So for me, listen, I understand in big games like this, you don't want to get angry at the fans, the players, and the managers as well. But you've got to make the right decisions. Even though the fans are getting angry with you, they will watch it and go, yeah, you know what, it's the right decision. So don't feel scared. Don't feel scared. That's what the referees need to do in big games. Don't feel scared. If you see something wrong, then just blow the whistle and make the right decision. Do not take too long, if you know what I mean. Do not take too long, because if you do, then it's going to waste everyone's time, if you know what I mean. But yeah, due to between Man City and Liverpool. I got the 3 points. I'm really happy for that one. And as you can see on the bottom, I've got 8 points. So that is equal to the one on match day 2 or 3, I think. So far, so it's equal. So that means I still haven't achieved the above the 8 points predictions. But hopefully, from now to the end of the season, if I manage to get, let's say, like 9 or 10 points, or maybe 12, then I'll be a very, very happy man. So that is my target for now to the end of the season, to get to achieve above 8 points. Because if I can do that, then that's really good. But 8 points, yet again, still good, but that's not good enough in my opinion. It's really not good enough. So yeah, that is all the predictions. And like I said, there has been some shocks, there's been some surprises, there's been some, like I knew that team was going to win. I didn't thought that team was going to lose, if you know what I mean. The likes of Arsenal, maybe Burnley, and all that stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. So that is all my Premier predictions review. So that is it for the end of this video. And don't forget to make sure to tune in later today, where I'll be doing a match preview for Real Madrid against Chelsea in the quarterfinal second leg in the Champions League. Can Chelsea do a miracle against the Real Madrid and get like a 2-0, maybe like a 3-0 win, and make the greatest Champions League comeback? I hope so. But I'll be talking about those things for later today. So make sure you tune into that one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you are new, hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell notification so that you'll be alerted if I posted any new videos. Share this video to everybody and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And let's see in the comments down below if you got the predictions right and how many points have you got. If you got above 8, then well done. If you got below that, then try again. It's bad, but try again, because I know you guys will do better next time, if you know what I mean. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care, and as always, up the Chels.